Go ahead and get, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to all of you that have joined in on today's BAL meeting. We appreciate it. I am Sharon Von Roach, the program manager. I want to reintroduce
This call will be recorded.
Raven Everett, who is the intern that has been assisting us with the development of our policies. And she's going to help facilitate this meeting today as well. We have Jelani Smith in here, Nicole Green, and Jeremy Jenkins. So I see on your end, we have Mr. Patton, Ms. Evans, Mr. Bodway, Ms. Beatty, Mr. Henderson, Mr. Robinson, Ms. Addison, Ms. Bolden, Ms. Petaway Brooks. And okay, so today's agenda, we'll start with the financial report that you all received on Friday from Nicole and Jeremy.
This is the final FY25 reporting for the period October 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2025. Third-party vendor earnings, $1,961,657.99. Assigned vending payments, $1,152,573.33. Unassigned vending payment, $872,102.24. So that came to a total vending payments of $2,022,675.57. Led by set aside received was $307,620.15. Paid from the levy set aside. Management services, $44,059.07. There was no fair minimum return. Maintenance equipment for our journal entry, $69,529.46. Purchase order and expenditures, $255,866.08. Maintenance of equipment, $32,316.34. Management services, $121,405.64. Purchase of equipment, $84,745.32. Refurbishing facilities, $9,095.28. And replacement of equipment, $8,303.50. That is the reporting for FY25.
And is there any questions?
It was 14. Okay.
Definitely gotta look this stuff. But
This call is being recorded.
I'm not sure.
Hello.
Is there questions about the financial reports that was just read off?
Hi.
Yes.
We just had a few people join us. Just had about 4 people join us.
Yes. This is Nicole ending in 0427.
Nicole and last name?
Wright Taylor.
And I have a 3215.
This is Eunice Miles and Faison Pasacani.
I'm right here.
It's like a little pom-pom.
Okay.
Hamid Drexel.
Oh, look. Oh, Christmas.
I believe Jeremy was speaking.
Hey, Ms. Miles, could you mute your phone?
There's nobody talking in the background of my phone. I don't know who that is.
Whoever's saying, maybe
Okay. My bad.
the drawl or something, please.
Whoever's Evans.
But I am muting my phone.
Thank you, Ms. Miles.
And did anyone have any questions or concerns with what was read for the financial report? If not, we can move on to seniority and performance. If anyone wants to clarify what they wanted discussed on that topic.
So for the seniority and performance points, the question that I had is when two vendors bid on the same facility and one vendor has more seniority points than another vendor, but the vendor that has more seniority points has less performance points than the vendor that has less seniority points. So in this case, how do you award those vendors? By using total points, using seniority points, or using performance points?
I apologize.
No.
It's based off the accumulated points of both performance and seniority. So the points are calculated and then people are put into like a system where they're able to be ranked down based on points.
Okay, so you said, let me clarify, you said based off of total points.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And is there any
Hello,
other
I'm sorry, excuse me. Yeah, who's chairing the meeting?
Who's chairing the meeting?
Yeah, okay, I didn't hear you. That's why I was asking. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna move to the next agenda item. If there are no other questions around seniority and performance, that next item is the DC residency requirements. And according to the DCMR 29 200 subsection A, at the time of licensing, a applicant must be a DC resident.
Is there further questions or concerns on that requirement?
Yes, she said at the time the person has to be a DC resident. Okay, so when the person is licensed, you don't have to maintain a DC address, correct?
No. That is correct at this time. That is the way the regulation provides information around residency.
Okay, so if I move to New York City right now, I could still be a licensed DC vendor?
That is correct. If you were a resident at the time that you attained your license and you move afterwards, yes, right now you can maintain your being a member in the DC Randolph-Sheppard program.
And if there isn't any other questions on it, the next topic that was the facility operation delay. And if you wanted to further clarify what you were wondering from this.
I'm sorry, this is LaShawn. I couldn't get off of mute. My phone wouldn't do it. Can we go back to the first question about the points? I just have a question. If a vendor does not do any of those items that's on there, like have employees or cleaning their facilities and things like that, how do you get points? You can't get points if you don't do those certain things, correct?
Right now, we are currently working on this whole performance point calculation. We do understand that, you know, there are some issues with the way this was constructed years ago. So just please bear with us while we are making some changes to discuss with the Mr. Henderson during our policy meetings. We're actually going to have a policy meeting right after this BAL meeting.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So the next topic again was the facility operation delay. Does someone want to provide insight on what their confusion was?
This is
What is
Eunice
the
Miles.
question?
I have a
What
question
is the question?
in reference. I'm sorry, Nicole. I just want to go back to that particular question that Ms. Addison had. So if you have not finished writing a policy around that, can you have a call down? Because, you know, you're still working through the details of that.
Currently, we're residing under the original policy and the original performance and seniority. We are
Okay.
working to update this, and any further updates will be discussed with both the policy, the BBC, and then disseminated into the VAL.
Okay, so you'll just continue to use the policy that's in place until you work through whether the details of the new policy. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so circling back to, you don't want to get into the specifics of the particulars for the sites that were mentioned, but all in all, I guess there was a question around delay in operating facilities once they were awarded from the call down process. And there are circumstances that have led to some delays this year. And we are working through those things that have come up that the program hasn't faced before. You know, for example, the shutdown. The other thing is honoring what the government entity would like and what their specs are. So those are some of the reasons why there are delays and when a person has been awarded a site versus when they started. But that is not the norm, as you know, we know, you know, it's like immediate turnaround.
So Ms. Von Roach, this is Eunice Miles. So I can see that being the case if it's a new facility that has not ever been opened, but if it's a facility that has already been open and already had an operator, then I don't know how that would play into not opening, getting information from the agency. Because if a vendor, I can understand that if it's new, but if someone has already been there, I would think the parameters would have already been set, but maybe you can explain that.
Okay, I'm gonna let Olajuwon talk about an example that which really hindered the opening of one particular facility. This will give an example.
So this is like an anomaly, right? This don't usually happen, but it happened. So when we had, let's use Switzer as an example. Ms. Jonas, you came from Switzer, you had Switzer. Mr. Henderson took it over. Once we got there, we did the inspection, everything. We found the safety hazard, which was mold. We had to replace the cabinets. As most of the vendors know, we work through a third-party contractor that's not the best. So not only do we have to wait, most of the time, you guys have to wait because we have to wait. We don't have constant updates because constant updates are not provided to us. So if it was in-house, it would be much easier, much different. Now, back then, it used to be much easier, right? We could call ARS, we could call the third-party contractor, they'll get in, fix it, create more problems, or they'll just fix the problem at hand. But in this particular case, we had a very major safety hazard, which was mold. So we had to not just only get them to fix it, get them to remove it, recreate the cabinets, then reinstall the cabinets on top of still maintaining GSA requirements and everything that they needed. Because it's not our building, we also had to go through GSA, and HHS in order to get everything in order. So it wasn't like a turnkey situation. It was a situation where 4 parties was involved. And when you have more than one party involved, it could create time delays, a lot of different things that we did not foresee happening prior to Mr. Henderson being awarded switcher.
Okay.
I hope that answers the question.
My question was not related to any particular facility, but the award, I know that government, the wheels of government turns very slowly. So, but if we're talking 5 months, I don't know how long it took to do what needed to be done to that facility. But I mean, in general, I don't know of any facility that was brand new that would have required the agency setting some parameters. That's all.
Yes, thank you for that.
So we can
comment.
move on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Like we were saying, this is not typical at all. And we are working to streamline this process a little bit better of what we have control over. But thank you for the question. The next item was in regards to payroll support. So there was a question about, I guess years ago, payroll support was provided to operators, but then it was stopped. And in viewing, and I'm gonna say this, it's a technical assistant circular 24-03. And again, technical assistant circulars are recommendations to provide guidance. But it does state in there that payroll support would fall under operating an expense, and the SLA can determine if they want to offer that, and if so, how much and for how long. That basically nothing would exceed a 6-month period time frame. So looking at certain situations where, this was just discussed with the vendor himself. So I'm really surprised that this got out to everybody because, we're all talking about confidentiality, but looking at the situation and assessing, the needs, that's why it was determined that some payroll support would be given.
Well, first of all, he put it out there. He put it out in the emails that he sent out. And it wasn't my question. It wasn't my question. I'm just commenting. So if a facility has had a previous operator, and I just don't understand I know that in the past, when there was a brand new facility, that the SLA give them support, payroll support. But again, we're not talking about a brand new facility.
Could you put yourself on mute, please? Whoever has the background noise. Thank you.
So again, we're not talking about a brand new facility. And again, this is information that was put out for everybody to see. It just looked like it was almost $1,200, almost $12,000. And so we were just really taken aback because, to my knowledge, I've never known a vendor starting up, even getting payroll support, to get that kind of money. So that's what started the discussion.
And this is Brenda Beatty, and I would like to state that, I know, as I say, things are changing. In the past, with been working on, you get payroll support when there is a brand new facility. This facility has had several operators there, so it's not a brand new facility. And the payroll support is up to 3 months, normally in the past, and not up to 6 months. And because during, 3 months is enough time to figure out whether that facility, will be viable or not. So, and the monitors usually go around and check and make sure, do their due diligence to find out whether this that facility is viable, and then they report it back to the agency. So this is something new. This is something, and we vendors do have a concern because at the end of the day, it's our dollars. So that's being spent. And when it goes on to the RS 12, we see all this stuff. So it's not confidential.
Yeah, I appreciate
Thank you.
Thank
May I
you.
say something?
Sure.
I'm sorry. This is Jessie. I do recall that they was always given payroll support to a person who has just come into the program, running a location. I do remember that because I received it. If a new vendor came into the program, and it was his first location running, or hers, or hers, the payroll support was always given to that vendor.
Not. I was new into the program, Jesse. No one gave me payroll support.
Yeah, I was new as well, and I didn't get payroll support.
You were 30 years ahead of me, but I didn't get payroll support. I don't know if anybody else got payroll support when they came into the program, but I certainly did
because
not.
it was always based on a new facility because you didn't know, how valuable this facility would be. Because it had already, if you move in, if a new person came into an existing facility and it has been already managed, you pretty much, the agency already had pretty much had an idea of how valuable it would be. That's why they said a new facility.
Well, see, mine wasn't new. When I went into mine was not new. The new facility I went into when I came into the program.
Well,
so
the point is, we can't, right, but I don't know if yours was an exception to the rule, but we can't helter-skelter just determine that you're a new vendor, so we got to give you almost $12,000 for payroll support and whatever it takes to run that business. When I came into the program, I didn't even have the opportunity, because things change, and I understand that. I didn't even get to select what I wanted. They just placed me. The SLA placed me into a facility. I didn't bid on it. They didn't allow me to bid. They placed me. So I know that they have exclusive bids and all of that now. I don't know where that rule was when I came in, but I was placed into a facility.
Mm-hmm. And that's an example of the changes that have been, along the way during the course of the Randolph-Sheppard program. And I just want to say this is yet another area where we're going to be developing procedures on what a person will receive based on, whatever the criteria or factors are that align, with the regulation. And I just want to clarify something. Someone said roughly $12,000 that was issued. It was only 42, and I shouldn't say only, but it was 4,200 that was earmarked for payroll support. But I do hear your concerns, and just, again, we are in a spot now where we're looking at all of the policies, very few were approved. A lot of them were in draft. Some of them, are, outdated based on the operations and efficiencies that are needed today to keep up with the times. So I thank you for expressing your concerns around the payroll support, and stay tuned. This is one of the ones that we are focusing on.
And
Great. But the reason I came up with 11.7 is because there was $7,500 given initially, and then another $4,200. And I'm just saying that to clarify how I came up with 11.7.
Thank you for that explanation.
if there isn't any further issues or concerns with this, the last topic is the profit and loss reports. If someone wants to clarify what the questions were regarding this.
Well, I know on a previous call down, I did not see some profit and loss reports. And the call down information should always have that and always clarify profit and loss statements. How are you supposed to, if the facility has been open for a while, every vendor should have a profit and loss statement. So that was my question. Why didn't the previous call down didn't have profit and loss statements on there?
Very good question. We appreciate it. There are some vendors that do not provide profit and loss statements on a regular basis. It does not, we recognize that, we note it. That's part of the performance points where you will get points reduced as a result of that. So if profit and loss statements were not provided at a time of the call down, it's because they were never submitted from the vendor. But again, there is a check and balance on that. You know, when we went through, when the PNT went through performance points, they did do reductions for people who did not submit their profit and loss statements.
Now,
Sharon, this is Brenda Beatty. May I say something, please, about that? You know, we need to come up with a better system because some people don't care about losing points. I do, but some people do not care because they where they are and they are not planning on moving or going anywhere else. So maybe, you know, while we're doing these policies, maybe there should be something else added to kind of get our attention.
And I just want to ask, were the profit and loss statements submitted or was just the financials submitted? Because Caleb, I don't remember hearing or mentioning that the actual profit and loss statements of the location being submitted versus just the financials of the location.
It was only the vending machine income that was submitted. The actual financials for the actual facility was not submitted.
Okay.
Because that's not fair to you. Once again, she putting you back in that same position again.
Hey, Mr. Patton.
But don't respond yet until I talk to you.
Hey, Mr. Patton, you on mute.
You can hurt.
Okay. And I think that is it for today's meeting, not unless someone.
Yes, I have a question. The BBC filed a grievance on behalf of the vendor rate cut, which the vendors were not aware of. What's the status of the grievance? Somebody's talking.
Yeah. I am not at liberty to speak on that, but I just know that I'm not at liberty to talk about that. The grievance has been received.
Okay.
Okay, we have something from.
Can we have a comment? Can we have a comment on that? And this is not for you to respond, but you know, when the contract was renegotiated with a third-party vendor, as I remember, you said in one of our BAL meetings that we know that when the negotiation happened, that the third party vendor was given the opportunity or the option to go back and use the old rate. And I think you said something to the effect that, yeah, that was in there, but you didn't expect them to do it. But they did. And they did it because they're business people. And that's what business people do. You give them an opportunity to save money, they're going to save money. But the way it turned out, it became a win for them and a lose-lose for us. Because we, of course, it's less money, and then it's less money for the program. Because if we're paying less, then of course that's less for the program. So it was a lose-lose for us and a win for them. And these people we know that they're multi-million-dollar companies. But being business people, I would do the same thing. You're going to give me the opportunity to pay you less, and it's in a contract, then I would pay you less too. But if you're on the other end of that spectrum, you're hurting. To me, it's the same difference as the government saying to you, oh, we're going to take you back to last year's rate. We know that the government has a cost of living increase every year. But if they said, we're not going to give it to you, as a matter of fact, we're going to take you back to a couple of years or 3 years or 10 years, you would have an issue with that. And that is, that's our issue. So we went back instead of going forward and getting more money from them. So we're getting less from them. And so the program suffers and we suffer. They're fine.
May I add this, Eunice? And as well, when we had that rate increase, that percentage increase, we allowed them to raise the prices in the vending machines. They have recently added another 25 cents to items in the vending machine. So they're constantly gaining, income, and we are getting less. And that's what it was based on, us going to the 26%, the 25%, the 13.9 for Monumental. It was based on them increasing the prices in the vending machine. Now they have the price increase there, and they're constantly raising them because, the cost of living has gone up. But for us, it seems like, we're losing. We've gone down back to yonder years somewhere.
So, and they made up for it. See, they didn't give us any, they were okay because they made up for it when they increased the prices in the vending machine. So they were okay with us going up on the rates. And so now that they've gone back, the rates in the machines didn't go down. So that's our concern. And I really do think it's legitimate.
Yeah, and I appreciate everyone expressing their concerns around this issue. And, the SLA is aware of it, and, we'll work through things through the grievance process. But thank you.
May I make a comment? Ms. Sam Roach, going forward, are we going to have vendors involved in the negotiation with those rates? How are we going to do that?
That's a good question. We're working out the details on that, especially since third-party vendors are going to be paying the operators directly for assigned commission rates. So it opens up a new pathway. So, we'll all be working together on how this comes to pass. A very good question, though.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
I just have one more.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had one more question. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. You can go ahead.
Oh, okay. The question I had was just, when is the next call down? Because I think it's some satellites that are due. It's been over 2 years. But when is the next call down?
Okay. I know we had this discussion back in May, and, we cited the policy that was around. Satellites come up for bid when there is a new operator. So in the policy, it says, you can maintain them of at least 2 years, but it doesn't say they have to be put up for bid at every 2-year increment. But it does say that when a new vendor comes on board, which this is what we did with Mr. Robinson, that's when the satellites come up. As far as when a new call down will come about, we're working on that time frame.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, everyone. I just wanted to thank all the participants for submitting your ACH and your W-9 agreements. Like Ms. Sharon said, we're on track to have the third-party vendors pay you all directly. Out of the 4 vendors, Monumental, Sundone, Eastern Reach, and Compass. Monumental is the first vendor to successfully set up all your accounts. So for this month, for November's commission or earnings, you will be receiving your payment directly from the vendor. And as far as Sundone, Eastern Reach, and Compass, we're working aggressively with them. So hopefully by January, they will be submitted or paying you all your December's commission in January. So everybody should be on board by January and active paying you all your earnings.
May I make a comment, Ms. Green?
Oh, let me see what you're saying.
Please.
So you're saying that I'm sorry, Jesse. Go ahead, I'll let you go.
I didn't hear anything about my company.
Hi, Ms. Jessie. We are aggressively reaching out. We reached out again to Sergeant Jago and Ms. Graham this morning. We are aggressively trying to right-size that for you. So thank you for your patience. And my hope is that we get a response soon. So I know we've been saying that, but because the government shut down, we've been in this holding posture. So please bear us a little more time.
Okay.
So Nicole, thank you. So the check that we would get this month is coming directly from Monumental and Canteen, is that correct?
No, ma'am. The only check that the third-party vendor is going to be issuing this month is Monumental, and the remaining balances will be issued from us, DDS. So business as usual.
Oh, okay. So
reach. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just trying to be clear, that's all. So we'll get a check from Monumental and from the SLA? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And my hope is that by January, you'll just be receiving a check from the third-party vendors. And then the only thing DBS or the SLA will be responsible for is issuing you your unassigned pension payments.
Okay. Well, if there are no other issues for discussion, we all want to thank you for your participation in today's VAL meeting and have a wonderful day.
You too.
Happy holidays to everyone.
Same to you.
Thank you. Same to you. Take care.